Blessings and peace to you. This is SB Favor Thinking Podcast, and my name is SB Favor. How are you doing today? It is Tuesday, October 17th, 2023. Another wonderful day and another day to be thankful. And as I always say, if you focus on what is good, then you can project something good to happen. So focus on the things that give you joy and peace and all the good things that are beneficial. Don't focus on the things that are negative, because there are no benefits in focusing on negative things. So focus on what is good. If you are out there traveling about today, this morning, this afternoon, this evening, make sure say a prayer when you are behind the wheel. Say a prayer as you are going about your business. And most importantly, stay focused. Keep yourself safe and keep your family members safe. Use that hand sanitizer and wear your mask if you need to in certain situations. I always remind you of these things because I care. So do your part to keep yourself safe and keep your family members safe. If you would like to give to the podcast, you can give at Cash App, $SB Favor, or you can give at Venmo at SB Favor. Thank you so much for your support and your donations. Once again, if you would like to give to the podcast, you can give at Cash App, $SB Favor, or you can give at Venmo at SB Favor. And that is the symbol at SB Favor. Well, I have an inspirational quote for you today, but before I get into the inspirational quote, I would just like to give everyone that is listening a big virtual hug, because I have not been doing episodes over the last couple of weeks, and I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Life gets busy and things happen, and I have to prioritize some things. And I am not saying that this podcast is not a priority, but I have other goals. But I am here today, and I will do my best to go forward, giving you more episodes more consistently. Okay? Well, my inspirational quote is, the thing that is overwhelming could become your greatest strength. Whatever is overwhelming, or whatever appears or seems to be overwhelming, that could become your greatest strength. Endure the process, because a change is coming. We all have experienced seasons, days, weeks, months, and times in our life when it just seems like whatever it is we were going through or are going through, it in the moment it seems overwhelming. It doesn't feel good. It may be complicated or difficult. It seems to be. Well, in that moment when you are experiencing something that may be difficult, or if it feels difficult, just endure the process. And the reason why I say endure the process, I say that because a change is coming, and through different parts and times in our life, I believe that God uses those things to make us better. He uses those things to perfect us. Seasons change, and times change, and everything is subject to change. Nothing stays the same. So if you are experiencing a season of something that may be uncomfortable, or it may not be a season, it may be a day, it may be a week, or a time in your life when it just seems uncomfortable, or when it seems to be difficult, in that moment, in that time, you have to talk to yourself. You have to do all that it takes to be focused. Be focused on all things changing. Be focused on being thankful. And be focused on the solution going forward. Every single day we wake up, my mom would tell me sometimes, she said, you never know what a day is going to bring. You never know. But when something happens, you have to maintain the right attitude, because maintaining the right attitude will determine what happens next. So take it one day at a time, press forward, and do what you have to do in every moment so that you can make it through. And you will make it through. You will make it through the difficult time. You will make it through what seems to be difficult. And I know sometimes when we're going through something seems like it's never going to end. It seems like that because when you are in the middle of a process of something being resolved, or when you are in the middle of a process of working through something, it seems like it's difficult. It feels like it's difficult. But if you keep your mind on the solution, if you keep your mind on the other side of the issue or problem being resolved, then your days will be filled with the solution and not the problem. Focus on the solution. Don't focus on the problem. Focus on the peace that God can give you. Don't focus on being overwhelmed. Don't focus on the emotional part of what you are feeling. Don't focus on that. Focus on simply taking one day at a time to feel better, be better, and just do better. When life is going good and everything is smooth, unfortunately, that's the time people don't have anything to pray about, sadly. But when life starts to happen and we become uncomfortable, some of us, that's the time we pray the most. That's realistic. But I'm saying all this to say to you, it's okay. It's okay. Even if you didn't pray that much when things was going good, it's okay to get closer to God right now. It's okay. In fact, it's the perfect time. Because in the midst of prayer, there's an exchange taking place. When we pray, there's an exchange taking place. God exchanges us. He exchanges something with us in the midst of prayer. Yes, he does. So remember, in the midst of something that seems to be or feels like it's overwhelming, that can become your greatest strength. You have to walk out all things in life, no matter what it is. We have to walk it out. And I know some things just don't feel good. No matter what it is, some things just don't feel good. And we can be completely honest with ourselves in every moment to say, no, this doesn't feel good, but I can walk this out. I have gone through many things in my life, and I just felt like giving up, and I felt like God wasn't with me, and I felt like I'm tired of this. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of that. And I wasn't complaining. I was just expressing my feelings and my humanity according to what was happening in that moment. You know, some people go through things on their job. It's just always something happening on their job, and they can't get it right. They mess up things and they blame you for it, or it's just something going on. It might not be your job. It could be something going on in your marriage. It could be something going on in your finances. It could be something going on in your relationships with your siblings, your friends. It could be something going on with a delay concerning a goal that you have. It could be a setback. It could be anything. It could be a stupid police officer pulling you over, giving you a ticket. It could be anything. But whatever it is that might seem overwhelming, or whatever it is that has tried to discourage you, or whatever it is that has tried to get in your way and make you feel bad, or like I said, feel overwhelming, remember that thing can become your greatest strength if you endure the process. Everything that we go through is a tool for us to become better. Life is not a beach chair at the beach where we just look at the ocean and everything just goes right all the time. That's not life. That's not reality. What's reality is we can project the good we want to experience, and everything will be good regardless of what is going on. Life is something that we have to create by having the right attitude and the right mindset, speaking the right words, choosing the right choices and decisions, making the right decisions. That's what life is about, because when something happens that's beyond our control, we still have to keep the right attitude. Yes, we will have reactions and responses because we are human. But what I'm saying is, every single day we have to keep moving forward, projecting what is good, gravitating to what is good, speaking what is good, thinking what is good. Yes, deal with things that we have to deal with in the moment, but still going forward to gravitate and to think and to speak and to experience all that is good. There's so much going on in the world today, but we don't have to become it, and we don't have to focus on it. All of our hope is in what we believe. What we believe. What do you believe will happen? That's where our hope is. Our hope is in what we trust. Do we trust God? Do we trust man? Which one do you trust? So, I hope that these words remind you of something that you need to do, because it is important that we, every single day, that we take the time to understand that if we focus on what is important and work through whatever it is we need to work through, then we will become better. Then we will endure the process. And the reason why I call it a process, because I believe that when we go through transitions and when we go through different seasons and days and weeks of different things happening, I believe that in those moments we change, we evolve. And when we apply ourselves to the things that make us better, we become better from the process. Just like a product being on the assembly line, I believe strongly that God has us all on the assembly line. And through life situations and circumstances, He is working on us all to become better. Even if you're one of those people that don't pray, even if you're one of those people that don't even believe in Him, He's still working on you. He's working on you because you don't believe. Yes. He's working on you no matter what level of faith you have. It doesn't matter. I simply believe that because God is sovereign. He's sovereign. So I hope that these words remind you of something you have to do. We all have to stay focused on what is important every single day. When we stay focused on what is important every single day, then we become better. And for people that have nothing going on in their life, and they just like, oh, I don't have to think about all that because my life is good and I got money and I got a house and car and I got all this stuff. Guess what? The season is going to change. I'm not projecting anything negative. I am speaking reality. Seasons change. Everything can go right for a whole year, 2 years, 3 years. But then all of a sudden, something happens. It could be something great. It could be something small. Something happens. As human beings, what I'm saying is, as human beings living on the earth, in this world, there are things happening every day. And in the midst of all the good that happens and all the good that we can experience, we don't need coping mechanisms in the midst of all the good stuff happening. No, we don't. We still need to stay focused. But what hope or what faith or what coping mechanisms do you need when everything is going right? No, it's when the life situations and circumstances happen, we need to be able to have hope and faith and coping mechanisms and encouragement and inspiration. Because life is forever. It's always changing. Nothing stays the same. And millions of dollars can't buy you peace. Millions and millions of dollars can't heal a body. And millions of dollars can't. It's certain things that we just cannot change. Only one that can change all things is God. So what I'm saying to you is this. What may seem or feel overwhelming, that can or will become your greatest strength. So endure the process, whatever it is. It could be a mother or father that's going through something with their children. If you're going through something with your children, pray for them and endure the process. Focus on the solution and project the solution and see yourself on the other side of everything being resolved. It could be somebody going through something, like I said earlier, in their marriage. Whatever it is you may be experiencing. It doesn't have to be something great. It could be something small. It could be something going on personally, privately. Come on now. Let's be real. Whatever it is that you may be dealing with, publicly, privately, openly, whatever it is, remember, if it seems to be difficult, if you feel overwhelmed, remember, that thing can become your greatest strength if you endure the process. Endure the process. Endure the process by being encouraged. Endure the process by speaking life over yourself. Endure the process by praying. Endure the process by walking in peace the best way you know how every single day. With tears in your eyes, pray, seek God, and do all you know to do to endure the process, because it's going to get better. It is going to get better. A change is coming. All things are subject to change with God, and all things are subject to change based upon what we do. So I hope that these words remind you, and I keep saying this because I believe that in this hour, there are so many people going through things and they don't even discuss it with one another. There are so many people going through things privately, and they just keep everything bottled up. They don't talk about it. And unfortunately, some people go into even darker places mentally and spiritually because they don't talk about it. So that is why I wanted to talk about this topic today in my inspirational quote, because I felt the need, I felt the need to talk about this because I feel it. I feel this, being out among people, and even in my own life, I have to tell myself, okay, press ahead, endure the process of whatever I may feel, endure the process. I spoke with a friend of mine this morning, and I said to her, wow, yesterday my day was, it wasn't a bad day, but it was a challenging day. And I kept telling myself, I have to endure the process. Through challenges, I have to endure the process. And I do it by how I think, by what I say, by what I believe, and what I choose to do every single day. So I am telling you, please take it one day at a time and be focused on everything that is good. I'm not saying to ignore the problem. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying to live in a fantasy. What I'm saying is focus on the solution. Whatever it is that must be resolved in your life, focus on the solution. When you focus on the solution, then the solution expands. If you focus on the problem, then the problem expands. And when you focus on the solution, do it intently every single day. And if you feel that it's challenging to focus on a solution, then just keep praying. Just keep praying about it. Just keep praying. I don't care if you just have to drive down the street and just speak a few words to God. You're walking around the house, speak a few words to God. You're walking on the job, in the bathroom, speak a few words to God. Pray about it. But just endure the process, because if you endure the process, on the other side of whatever it is you're going through, it's going to get better, and you will be empowered. That thing, whatever it is you're dealing with, it's going to become a great strength that you will carry within you the rest of your life. Because in the sight of God, nothing goes to waste. I don't care what you go through. If you endure the process, if you walk this thing out, if you stay determined and stay inspired and stay motivated through the process, it will become your empowerment. I always talk about 2021, when my mother passed away and my daughter was scheduled to be married 1 week later. I always talk about that because that moment in my life, that was my empowerment. That moment was my empowerment. It was a joyful moment and it was a painful moment at the same time. Joyful and painful. My mother passed away, and the next week, my daughter was scheduled to be married. So 1 week I was grieving the passing of my mother. The next week I had to get ready for the wedding. So I had to smile. And then the next week I had to go to a funeral. So we're talking about 3 weeks. A process of 3 weeks. I was walking in pain and joy at the same time. And in the process of walking through all of that, I was empowered. But it was a choice. It was a choice and a decision that I had to make with God to choose His strength and His power. Because yes, in that moment, planning a funeral and and planning to travel to all these different places, to attend a funeral, to attend a wedding, to be there for my daughter, to be there for my siblings, to make sure everything was okay with the funeral, discussing everything with my siblings. It was overwhelming. But the whole process of everything that happened, it became my empowerment. And tears are coming through my eyes right now because I want you listeners to understand that life is not always a beach chair. Yes, it can be good, but when life happens, you must focus on the solution and not the problem, and you must endure the process. So I hope that everyone that is listening to this episode, I hope you have a good rest of the week. I pray peace over you. I pray strength over you. And whatever it is you're going through, I hope that you stay focused and that you don't allow yourself to slip into a dark place of sadness or depression or anything that wants to steal from you, but simply pray and endure the process. Endure the process because you can. It might not feel good, but you can take it 1 hour at a time, 1 day at a time with God to endure the process. It's all up to you. And it first begins according to how you think. You must maintenance your thought life. Maintenance your thought life to focus on what is good. Maintenance your thought life to focus on the things that build you up. Maintenance your thought life. Focus on the things that help you to be a better you. All of what I said, if it doesn't apply to you, trust and believe me, it will apply to you sometime soon, because life is happening all around us. And I am not projecting anything negative. What I am saying, like I said earlier, when things are going good, we don't need no coping mechanism. We don't need all the encouraging words. We don't need all that when things are going good, because things are going good and we're comfortable. See? And our complacencies, we don't think about carrying our armor and our focus when everything is going good. When everything's going good, that's when people are distracted. When everything's going good, that's when people are deceived. So what I'm saying is, even when things are going good, you still should have a focus. You still should be in a position of staying motivated and staying encouraged and being reminded of what you need to do to live each day with the right focus. In the midst of everything going good, we still should be praying. We still should be aligning ourselves with the things that help us to be better. So I hope that the rest of this week is good for you. I pray that all will be favorable for you. And make sure you just stay focused. Make sure you stay encouraged. Make sure that you keep your mind where it needs to be. Because when you keep your mind where it needs to be, in a good place, in a positive place, in a focused place, in an encouraging place, in a motivating place, in a place that is beneficial, keep your mind in that place. When you do that, then you will be better. And also you will be an asset to someone else. So thank you for taking the time to tune in to SB Favorite Thinking Podcast. Make sure you share this podcast with others. And if you would like to give to this podcast, you can give at Cash App, $SB Favor, or you can give at Venmo at SB Favor, and that is at symbol, the at symbol at SB Favor. Thank you so much for your support, and thank you to those that are consistent listeners of this podcast. And once again, I will be continuing with more episodes this week for sure. For sure. Because I haven't been doing any episodes, but I will be pushing forward this week. And so have a good day and be intentional about all that is good. And if you need to reach me, you can reach me at sbfavor@yahoo.com via email. You can also find me on Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok. You can find me on all those handles. And also you can find me on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Click like, leave me some feedback. Subscribe and share with others. And you can also subscribe to me wherever you listen to podcasts: Apple Podcasts, Amazon Audible, Spotify, Castbox, Google Podcasts. I'm on all of those networks. So please subscribe to me wherever you listen to podcasts, and make sure you share this podcast with others. Thank you so much for listening, and you have a good day.